Hi, how are you? Matt Watson here from carwow. Now, whenever I review a car and I mention the price in the UK, I often get lots of comments from people from other places in the world saying, oh my God, Matt, the price in the UK is so much cheaper than here in my country. So I thought I'd do a video where I compare the price of some cars to those in other countries. You'll be surprised just how much extra some other people in other countries have to pay for their cars. A lot of people reckon the Porsche 911 is a little bit boring, partly because it still looks the same as it did 50 years ago, sort of, and because it's also just so competent at everything. I reckon this is a load of rubbish though. Why wouldn't you want a sports car that's really, really fast but still totally easy to live with? I know I do, that's why I've got an old 996, the worst Porsche 911 to be fair, but still a great car. Thing is, Porsche knows it's onto a winner with its 911, so it can charge pretty much what it likes for them. And you'll need £83,000 to get one in the UK, and that's just for a regular 385 horsepower Carrera model. But if you thought that was pricey, just be grateful you aren't trying to buy one in Australia. Getting your hands on a 911 down under takes some serious cash. Even a basic two-wheel drive Carrera model costs more than £140,000. And that's before you've added any optional extras, which, if you know Porsche's options, are rather expensive. In fact, that base model car is almost the same price as the Turbo S is here in the UK. Singapore is a tiny island. Fewer people live in Singapore than actually live in London, but it's actually home to 250,000 millionaires and 44 billionaires. But the price of some cars in Singapore will blow your mind. Take the Suzuki Jimny, for example. It's a tiny little off-roader that's all about being cheap and cheerful. And I should know, I actually bought one. In fact, I paid around £19,500 for mine, fully loaded. But in Singapore, they cost more than 3 times that. Yeah, that's right. A dinky little Jimny costs £56,000, which is similar to the new Land Rover Defender here in England. Madness. The reason the Jimny is so expensive in Singapore is because you have to bid for a license first. And that's not a license to drive a car, it's a license to actually buy the car. And this can cost more than £20,000. And on top of that, you have to pay a whole load of import taxes on whichever car you buy. Always fancy living in Singapore, I'm not sure I'd like to go there now. Thailand is another country where fairly normal cars can cost an absolute fortune. Take a BMW 3 Series for example. You can pick up a BMW 320d M Sport over here in the UK for less than £40,000. But over in Thailand, the same car will set you back more than £62,000. That's 10 grand more than a brand new M2 competition. Cars are so expensive in Thailand because you have to pay an extra tax if your car was built overseas and shipped to Thailand, just like in Singapore. This tax works at around 80% of the car's value. The import tax is so expensive that Toyota and Honda actually set up factories in Thailand to build their cars there to get round paying so much import tax. Sensible. Japan is probably one of the most high-tech countries on earth, but lots of people still drive around in really basic hatchbacks. These are called Kai cars, and they're tiny little city cars with small engines that are really efficient, because that helps them get around Japan's pricey car taxes. And these taxes don't just apply to running a car. You'll have to fork out a whole wad of cash if you want to buy a car new. Even a car like a BMW i8, which is one of the most fuel-efficient sports cars on sale. You can buy a new BMW i8 Roadster in the UK for around £125,000. Very expensive, I hear you say. Well, the same car in Japan costs almost £170,000. That's an extra £45,000. And you've also got to remember that that i8 isn't some mad supercar with a fuel-guzzling twin-turbo V8. It's a hybrid with the engine out of a Mini. The Honda Civic Type R is one of the best hot hatches out there. It's fact. It's fast, it's brilliant to drive, and has one of the best manual gearboxes I have ever used. And you can get all this for a smidge over £30,000 here in Great Britain. So it's a bit of a performance car bargain really when you think about it. Though not if you're living in Malaysia, where you'll have to pay a 105% import duty on any foreign car. This means you need a whopping £61,000 if you want to buy a Civic Type R over there. In the UK, that much cash will buy you a brand new Civic Type R and used versions of each of its predecessors. To be honest with you, most of the countries on this list are quite a long way from the UK, but there's one right next door where cars are really expensive. Any ideas where it is? Thailand. Apparently, there's no such thing as the luck of the Irish when it comes to getting deals on brand new cars. Take the Audi RS5 for example. You can get one of these 450 horsepower V6 coupes for around £70,000 here in the UK. It's not exactly cheap, but it's a bit of a bargain compared to how much it costs in Ireland. Over there, on the Emerald Isle, you'll have to stump up almost £100,000 for one. That's enough to get you a brand new RS6 here in Great Britain, and that's got 8 cylinders, 600 horsepower, and is much bigger as well. In fact, I've just taken delivery of a new RS6 as my latest daily driver, and if you click on the pop-out banner up there, you can watch my video on that car's arrival and check out the interesting paint interior colour combination I've gone for. Some people love it, others hate it. The Toyota Supra is a great sports car. It's small, it's nimble, and it comes with a fantastic 3-litre straight-six turbocharged engine. I know, it's a BMW engine, the car's based on a BMW Z4, but it's still very Toyota-y, and it's brilliant. It's not perfect though, not if you live in Indonesia. The problem with the Supra is its engine. You see, over there, if your car has 3 litres or more, it gets classed as a luxury car. And because it's classed as a luxury car, every new Supra gets slapped with a load of extra taxes. And I'm not talking about a couple of £100 here and there. Indonesia's luxury car tax can add up to 125% of the value of the car. This is why while a Toyota Supra costs £53,000 here in the UK, over in Indonesia, it'll set you back a massive £114,000. So if you live somewhere like Bali and you're looking for a Toyota sports car, you'll be much better off with a GT86. This costs just £41,000, so it's a relative bargain then. I've saved the most expensive country to last, but can you guess which one it is? It is actually Cuba. Now, part of the reason for this is that it was actually illegal to import foreign cars into Cuba for quite a long time. And you could only buy or sell a car if it was made before the Cuban Revolution, which happened way back in 1959. That's why there are so many old American classic cars in Cuba. They were all shipped over in the 50s, and then when no other cars could be imported, the owners just kept on rebuilding and rebuilding and rebuilding them. Thankfully for Cubans, the rules changed in 2014, so it was now legal for them to go out and buy a new car. Well, so long as they had enough cash. Take this old Peugeot 508 for example. It cost less than £18,000 when it was on sale in the UK, but over in Cuba, it cost more than £202,000. Just let that sink in. Anyway, to give you an idea how much £202,000 is, the average Cuban salary back then was £180. Just £180 a year. So it'd take you more than 1,100 years to save up for one of those old 508s. So over a millennia.